The path of one is the hardest path to take. Here's why. I remember a time when being single-minded meant that you were focused, that you had your eyes on the prize. But in the last 20 years or so, there's this idea that single-mindedness is selfish and cruel and, oh, Martin, you've changed. Oh, Martin, you don't listen to me like you used to. Does this all sound familiar? Here's the truth. When people call you selfish, they're not calling you selfish. No, they're admitting to themselves. It's called projection in psychological fields. They're projecting the fact that they're selfish because you can take it as confirmed and rote that everybody wants their own way all the time. Otherwise, we wouldn't have words like negotiation, nor compromise, nor agreement. If everybody wanted the same things, we wouldn't need those words because it would just be assumed. But it's not assumed. If somebody calls you selfish, it means they want you to behave in a particular way that may be contrary to your needs and desires and your principles. So it's really, really important to stand out on your own, which is putting your head above the parapet. It's saying to the world, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to do it. And obviously you have to have motives that are wholesome and beneficial to you and truthful, and that don't go out to deliberately hurt people. But if you say no to people, which is ultimately what this is about, defining boundaries, if you say no to people, in most people's heads that automatically means that you're a mean and horrible person. Very important to understand the true meaning of words. And what I've always observed, this is crucial, what I've always observed is just how fervent people really are, determined they are to get their own way, and they assume that it's totally acceptable for them to get their own way all the time, but not for you. So rules are bullshit. They're ways of virtue signalling that, oh, you're not doing things the way that I want, this is my rule, so it should be everybody else's rule. And when you stand out, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept that you have to do what the other person wants, whether it's good or bad for you. What you do have to accept is that you have to take responsibility for it. And it's not easy. I find it very, very difficult to say affirmative phrases like, I am proud of parting ways with my ex and learning the lessons. And I can do it recording this video, you see. But actually saying it to people in real life actually is really tough. I feel embarrassed by it, and I think that most people do. But they don't want to appear vulnerable because there's attack from every single direction waiting for them in their minds. Most people are living life playing the game to not lose. Very few people are playing the game of life to win. And that's got a negative connotation. Everything's got a negative connotation because we've all become very insular and not willing to have discussions with each other. And that's what went wrong with me and my ex, but actually I'm really grateful that things ended in the way. Everybody's going to say I'm doing drugs. It is really cold. I'm not really dressed appropriately for this, but I do look fabulous, don't you think? But, well, I think I look fabulous, and if you don't, fine. Most people they don't want to have discussions. Too timid, too worried about people attacking them. But it's all up here. It's just words. You know, it's not like actual grenades and mortars are being fired at you. It's not. It's in your head, and that's where it has to start. You have to retrain your brain to understand that it is good for you to get what you want that's beneficial for you, and to feel good about yourself, because everything multiplies. The path of one is the best because it's the most focused way of improving yourself and everything around you, because life is inside out. It's not outside in. So stop looking for approval. Stop trying to please everybody else. Start with yourself first, because we are born alone, we die alone. And everything in between is about making that as wholesome and powerful and positive as you want it to be. You make the decision.